Alright, I'm back. For some reason, it was not letting me stop the recording, which, yeah, I want to make sure I can stop the recording because I want to make sure that I have the recording, in my folder here. Otherwise, this is for naught, and it would really, tick me the hell off. So let's take a second here. Okay, there's 32 minutes right there.
Has been out of print since 1980, but Barcy Sarban Records. Point. News, you're in one. We return every year for this. And since we didn't have one last year, I've got changed. So I'm thinking of getting
Yeah, this is the last one. Alright, 8:16, 3 seconds. So yeah, I did record. Uh-oh.
Enterprise comes to Playmobil. Is that droid in your pocket? If you're looking, hello. Well, it's fun. I feel like me and everything.
Well, crap. Alright, well, first you don't succeed. Try again. So we're doing the comic book edition again. Or sci-fi edition again. Tonight, the Air Prize comes to Playmobil. Is that a droid in your pocket? And remember actress Marky Post. All that and more on the sci-fi edition of Multiverse Tonight. Comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and more. If you're looking for a roundup of geeky news, you're in the right place. This is Multiverse Tonight. And here's your host, Thomas Townley. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to episode Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 137 of Multiverse Tonight. I'm, of course, your host, Thomas Townley, and, well, it's finally come the return to Comic-Con. Planet Comic-Con starts in Kansas City in just a few days from when I'm recording this on Monday. And, well, I'm ready for it. I've got all my, collected my stuff together, my mics, my pod decks full of questions for interviews, just in case I need a question. I've got new T-shirts. I've got new stuff to go there. I've got, do I need to, use my handheld mic, or, will a new mic work better? It's going to be an interesting time. Now, masks are required everywhere. And they're also offering vaccinations at the con as well. So I hope, people take heed and get those shots, people. We're over 50% now in the United States. We need to get that, up there. And it's not, don't think of getting vaccinations. No, why do I have to get vaccinations to stop the disease? You want to get a vaccination so that, there are less people in the ICU. There are ICUs in this country that are in terrible shape right now because the beds are filled up with people who have the Delta variant. And so if your mother has a heart attack, she might be lost. If your friend has a serious car accident, they are going to have a pickle of a time trying to save him if there's no ICU beds available. So, get that vaccination, help be part of the solution. Now I myself have been wearing masks, at work, but also because I've had a cold. I got a summer cold last week, and those masks do help you not spread that cold around to other people. So, again, going to be reporting on the con. I got my press pass all lined up. Now, be sure to keep an eye on Twitter and Instagram as well for photos, and watch out for future episodes for an interview or two. I have one interview lined up with the author of a brand new Star Trek Picard book, and who knows what other interviews I might get. But we'll see. Again, this is more of a vacation to me than a work trip. I try to enjoy myself more than, I need to get an interview here or need to take a photo here. It's more of, hey, what's that over there? Oh, that's neat. Anyway, let's go on to the Star Trek news. And we begin Star Trek news today with Mike McMahon, the showrunner of Lower Decks, and an interview he had with Trek Movie. Now I'll read quite a bit of this, but there'll be plenty of this in the show notes for you to peruse later. He starts off by saying that season 1 was interesting because, quote, for a lot of the writing in the first half of the season, I would get notes saying, what is sickbay? And I was like trying to balance Star Trek 101 with a Star Trek comedy, with meeting new characters and understanding a new class of ship, and 2380 and 2381 Federation history. There was a lot of explaining, and it's not funny explaining stuff. It's hard to make emotional character stories when stuff's getting explained. So then the second half of season 1, we had the movie episode going. We've got the Titans showing up. We're laying our hair down a bit. For season 2, we took that energy from the end of the first half of season 1, and you'll see from the very first scene that there's no hand-holding anymore. From that first scene, you see that we've got Mariner in a situation that would be impossible to describe to people who've never seen Star Trek before, and we're wielding it in a new way that is just saying, hey, this is an emotional story. This is a comedic story. And just saying, hey, this is, and saying, let's have fun. The trading wheels are off. And you'll see that across all of season 2, we're going to weirder planets. There's deeper cuts, and the characters are doing stuff that's just a little bit more unleashed. It feels good. We have 10 episode seasons, and I grew up watching 20 episode seasons. And I think we've gotten to this place where I'm like, oh, this is what the show is. Now Tanya is performing like we are going to write up for her, to her, and vice versa, and it's all just working together. Now, unquote. Now they have also gotten into production on season 3, so and so they're kind of worried that they had to have a lot of feedback yet, and so he said that he felt that was kind of scary because no one know what's Badgie like. Who I like Badgie. We used him twice in the first season. Now he says all you can do is write up the characters, and then the jokes will come, the stories will come. If you're searching in the dark for what the audience will like, you're really writing for yourself and for them, because we're the first audience of the show. Now, he also asks, in season 3, the question is, when will they stop being lower deckers? Do they start moving up in rank? Boimler left and took a crack at the Titan, but what's his journey? So they're in there for the long haul. They get used to it. Now there's a lot more. He also talks about if he could do the show forever, he would. He'd hit 7 seasons and then beg for an 8th season. He would also love to do movies for Lower Decks, and he's got a billion ideas. Now there's much more to that interview. Also, his thoughts with Alex Kurtzman signing a new 5-year deal and stuff like that. So I'll, again, leave that in the show notes for you to peruse at your leisure. But let's go on to the other animated show in the Star Wars franchise, which hasn't come yet, Star Trek Prodigy, which is coming to Paramount Plus in Europe as well as in America. Now, Viacom CBS has announced a brand new partnership with Sky to bring the Paramount Plus streaming service to Sky platforms in the UK, Ireland, Germany, Italy, Switzerland, and Austria in 2022. Paramount Plus will become available as part of the Sky Q service and will be included with Sky Cinema packages at no additional cost. Other Sky customers can subscribe to it as an add-on. Now, if you're wondering where most of the Trek movies disappeared to when Paramount Plus rolled over to August, well, look no further than AMC Plus. The 6 original cast movies, as well as all but one of the Next Generation movies, moved over to AMC Plus for an exclusive engagement. Now, there was a previously scheduled arrangement that was set up before the emergence of Paramount Plus, and no word on when those movies will be returning to their Paramount Plus home. Star Trek and Playmobil are coming together for the first time in 55 years for a Star Trek playset. The 70548 Star Trek USS Enterprise is, quote, all about authentic details and numerous features to inspire fans. The 1-meter-long Constitution-class vessel is the pride of Starfleet and comes with plenty of mesmerizing details, but more about these will be revealed soon. The specially designed mounting will help to make sure this legendary ship is presented in the best possible way. Lights, sounds, and other technical features are included alongside a unique AR tie-in app, which will expand this authentically detailed Star Trek experience much further than just the physical product. This ship comes with a total of 7 crew members from the original cast, which all fit perfectly into their traditional places on the bridge. Plus, the Enterprise ship isn't the only thing that's a Playmobil first. Mr. Spock is the first figure in Playmobil history, dating all the way back to 1974 to have ears. Vulcan ears, of course. Unquote. The Playmobil set is going to set you back a pretty penny, though, costing, get this, $499.99. And finally, Robert Beltran will be making an appearance on Star Trek Prodigy. The actor revealed just that much at the annual Star Trek Con in Las Vegas. Now, he didn't say anything else about the appearance other than the basic fact that he is going to make an appearance on the show. So, good luck. So I guess that's something to look forward to. Whether he's going to play old Chakotay or he's going to play some other hologram of Chakotay, who knows. Now, let's go to the Star Wars news.
Roger, Roger.
Roger, Roger, indeed. Star Wars The Bad Batch will be back for Season 2 in 2022, according to an announcement on Twitter. Now, Disney issued a full statement about the news. Michael Paul, president of Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, said, quote, "Fans have enthusiastically embraced the action and drama of Star Wars The Bad Batch, and we are excited to see the Star Wars animated universe continue to expand on Disney Plus. As the dedicated streaming home for the Star Wars franchise, we can't wait for the second season of this fan-favorite animated series," unquote. Now, executive producer Dave Filoni also added, "The entire Lucasfilm animation team, and I would like to thank Disney Plus and our fans for the opportunity to continue telling the story of The Bad Batch," unquote. Well, apparently you have to be rich to not only go into actual space, but Star Wars space. Yep, begin saving up those pennies now, kids, because Disney has finally released the price list for a trip at the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. The all-inclusive experience, which lasts 3 days and 2 nights, will cost between $749 and $1,209 per night, depending on how many guests are in your cabin. Now, for 2 people, that adds up to around $4,809. For 4, you're looking at a whopping $5,999. Again, start rolling up your pennies, folks. The immersive experience means that all the workers have to be in character at all times, and there will be a detailed itinerary for all of the events. Now, some of the events will be considered story moments, dealing with the Resistance versus First Order storyline, while other events will include lightsaber training, sabacc lessons, and bridge training. I'm not sure if lightsabers or bridge training makes sense with your role as a passenger on a Starliner, but well, let's just go with it for the moment. At night, there is, of course, an adults-only lounge. Day 2 will see a transporter take guests from the ship to Batuu at Walt Disney World. Now, each trip is expected to be completely unique. This super experience trip to Florida, if you consider it a trip to Florida to be a super experience, will start next year. A new LEGO Star Wars anime special is coming to Disney Plus. The LEGO Star Wars Terrifying Tales will debut on the streaming service October 1st and will take place after the events of The Rise of Skywalker. Poe and BB-8 must make an emergency landing on the volcanic planet Mustafar, where they meet the greedy and conniving Grabella the Hutt, who has purchased Darth Vader's castle and is renovating it into the galaxy's first all-inclusive Sith-inspired luxury hotel. While waiting for his X-Wing to be repaired, Poe, BB-8, Grabella, and Dean, a plucky and courageous young boy who works as Grabella's mechanic, venture deep into the mysterious castle with Vader's loyal servant, Vinay. Along the way, Vinay shares 3 creepy stories linked to ancient artifacts and iconic villains from across all eras of Star Wars. As Vinay spins his tales and lures our heroes deeper into the shadowy underbelly of the castle, a sinister plan emerges. With the help of Dean, Poe, and BB-8, will have to face their fears, stop an ancient evil from rising, and escape to make it back to their friends. Now, the special features voice talent from Jake Green as Poe Dameron, Rafael Alejandro as Dean, Dana Snyder as Grabella the Hutt, Tony Hale as Vinay, Christian Slater as Ren, Trevor Duvall as Emperor Palpatine, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn as Nihilate, and Matt Sloan as Darth Vader. Again, the special arrives in October. Tamagotchi is back, and there's a Star Wars one. The R2-D2 Tamagotchi virtual pet is now available for order and features adorable animations and 9 minigames. Now, it's your job to train R2 to master up to 19 different skills and keep him charged, clean, and happy. If you fail, it's off to the Jawas he goes. Next up is a Boba Fett version. Now, let's go on to the Geek News. Hans Zimmer has composed not only one original score for Dune, but a second original score, this time for the Insight Editions book, The Art and Soul of Dune, which is a making-of book written by Dune executive producer Tanya Lapointe. This marks the first time he has ever written a musical score for a book. The music will be available to stream on and download for free the same day as the movie, October 22nd. The Orville has wrapped production on season 3. Seth MacFarlane announced the happy news on Twitter, saying, quote, "And that's a wrap on season 3 of The Orville. Thank you for our incredible cast and crew for all their tireless and brilliant work. I sincerely hope this is not the last time we all go to space. Hashtag The Orville," unquote. Now, there's no word on when season 3 will be out yet, but as soon as we know, we'll contact our producer friend over at The Orville, Tom Constantino, and get an interview with him. And who knows, maybe he'll bring a surprising guest on or something. Who knows? We can have high hopes now, can't we? Noah Hawley's Alien TV show will hit FX in 2023, according to FX Network President John LaGraff. LaGraff broke the news at FX's Television Critics Association presentation. He also added that Noah Hawley's take was, quote, "very grounded," and also added, "I think it's very conscious that the fact that there's a cinematic universe, and while it has some flexibility, that the aesthetic that was established by Ridley Scott and continued by James Cameron is a part of that universe," unquote. Now, FX has also renewed What We Do in the Shadows for a 4th season. Now, season 3's premiere will be on September 2nd and starts with the fallout of Guillermo's rampage on the vampires in order to save his vampire family. Also given a new season order is American Horror Stories, the anthology successor to American Horror Story, which debuted last month and is FX's on Hulu's most successful launch to date. Star Wars and Indiana Jones book author J.W. Rinsler has passed away. Jonathan was an executive editor at Lucasfilm, as well as an editor on behind-the-scenes books about Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Alien, and The Shining. Rinsler was born on August 17, 1962, in Lakewood, New Jersey. Rinsler initially studied painting while at the Parsons School of Design and ultimately graduated from New York University with a bachelor's and master's degree in comparative literature. He joined Lucasfilm in 2001 and became the executive editor of the Lucas Books publishing arm. There, his first work for the publisher included The Art of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and The Making of Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith. His most well-known work was 2007's The Making of Star Wars, the definitive story behind the original film, which earned critical acclaim for its comprehensive approach to balancing archival research with cast and crew interviews. He would go on to write several other Star Wars books before leaving Lucasfilm behind in 2016, including The Making of The Empire Strikes Back, The Making of The Return of the Jedi, Star Wars The Blueprints, and The Sounds of Star Wars. He wrote over 25 books, 3 of which became New York Times bestsellers, and edited over 100 Star Wars-related titles. Outside of his work on the Star Wars franchise, he penned multiple books about the Indiana Jones franchise, as well as The Making of Aliens, The Making of the Planet of the Apes, The Making of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, and Howard Kingin's A Producer's Life. He also wrote several fiction books, including the space historical novel All Up, and the best-selling graphic novel The Star Wars, which he co-wrote with Mike Mayhew. Rinsler is survived by his wife, 2 daughters, his parents, siblings, and a grandson. He was 58 years old. And finally tonight, just a few weeks after one of her co-stars, Charles Robinson, passed away, actress Markie Post has also passed on. Markie was best known as public defender Christine Sullivan on Night Court. Markie was born in Palo Alto, California in November of 1950 to a scientist father and a poet mother. Before she got into acting, she worked on several game shows, including NBC's Card Sharks, The $25,000 Pyramid, and Super Password. Her acting credits include episodes of Barnaby Jones, Simon Simon, The Incredible Hulk, The Greatest American Hero, The A-Team, The Love Boat, and Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. She eventually became a series regular on the ABC action drama The Fall Guy, and after that she got a role on Night Court that lasted from 1984 to the series end in 1992. After that, she mainly did TV movies and guest star work, but her next big role was on the CBS sitcom Hearts of Fire, ending in 1995. She voiced June Darby and the animated Transformers Prime for 15 episodes and had a recurring role on Chicago PD. Her last role was in 2019 soundtrack. She also had a handful of movie roles as well. Her biggest was Mary's mom in the Farrelly Brothers comedy There's Something About Mary. 5 years ago, she was diagnosed with cancer. Markie Post died at her home in Los Angeles on August 7th. She survived by her 2 daughters and husband. She was 70 years old. And that brings us to the end of the sci-fi news for today. Now be sure to check us out on social media. We're at Twitter at Multiverse Tom. We're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you'd like to contribute to our show, please check out the show notes. Visit our TeePublic store, which right now I'm holding up one of our brand new t-shirts. And go over and visit. You can find that link and much more at multiversetonight.com. If you're a subscriber, thank you. Thank you very much. Be sure to share us with other people you know. And if you're brand new to the show, hit that subscribe or follow button and leave us with some feedback and let me know how we're doing. Special thanks to Shane Ivers for the intro music and Lobo Loco for the outro theme music. Thanks for watching the sci-fi edition of Multiverse Tonight. We'll be back in just a couple days with a brand new comic book edition and 2 weeks with a brand new sci-fi edition. Now please exit the universe in an orderly fashion. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half Baked Genre Productions. Copyright 2021. All rights reserved. Better have recorded. We PO'd. There it is.
Tonight, the air prize comes to Playmobil. Is that one of our brand new Shane Ivers, please? Excellent. 2021. All right.
Technology is wonderful when it works correctly. Yeah. Unlike some other people I know who whine and kvetch about it every turn because they don't update their software and their technology like they should. I'm looking at you, Mr. Hunt. Yeah, it happens. Something will happen with the program. Something will fire off right, but you know what you do. Take a deep breath. Try it again. If that doesn't work, take another deep breath. Get angry at the gods. And try it a different way. Yeah. Anyway. I want to get this all taken care of here. Sit down for stick switch. Okay, we're off to the races. Can I get a ding? I can get a ding. Can I get a record scratch? I get a record scratch. Gotta get some music to get us pumped to go. We can do this. We're awesome. We are Multiverse Tonight. They're also evil. So I have to remember that I do have these sound effects for just the right moment. Like especially if there's like a 4-letter word in the script, I can go. Anyway. Sorry, I had to do that to get. I forgot to put a back button on the deck here, so I didn't have a way to get back to my first spot. Can't remember if I put a button there. Anyway, let's get on with this. Tonight, Nathan Fillion gets a pavilion. Deadpool 3 takes a step forward, and Casa Bonita gets new owners. Cartman approves of this edition of Multiverse Tonight. Comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and more. If you're looking for a roundup of geeky news, you're in the right place. This is Multiverse Tonight. And here's your host, Thomas Townley. Kick ass. Anyway, welcome to episode 138 of Multiverse Tonight. I'm, of course, your host, Thomas Townley, and this is, of course, the comic book edition. Why it wouldn't be? This episode will be coming to you while I am at Planet Comic Con. So please be sure to check us out on Twitter and on Instagram as well for photos. And maybe a report or two, hoping on, really enjoying this next weekend. It's been a long time. Oh God, no, I'm not singing that song. It's been a while since we've gone to Comic-Con, hasn't it? 2019. Almost close to 2 years now. It's nice to be getting back there. It'd be nicer if it wasn't in the middle of the fourth wave of the pandemic. It'd be nice if people get off their butts and either put the mask on or get the shot. Those are your choices. This is democracy. We gave you two choices: put the mask on, get the shot, or do both. Perfect choice. You have a right not to do it, but if so, I don't need to feel, I'm not going to feel that sorry for you when you're begging for your life on the hospital bed. Well, I'm going to feel a little sorry for you. I'm not that heartless. But, again, you had the chance to save yourself. We threw you the life preserver, and you batted it away and then whined while you drowned. Anyway, let's get to something happier, shall we? Let's get to the DC Comics news. Now, we start DC Comics news with the Suicide Squad, which is doing pretty well at the box office, you gotta admit. The Suicide Squad's Flula Borg had to put on 25 pounds of muscle to play the supervillain Javelin. The actor told Men's Journal, not my usual place for getting news, by the way, but Men's Journal, quote, "My usual routine used to be working out for 20 minutes, eating nothing, and staring at the television for the rest of the day. Paulo Macide told me that wasn't going to fly," unquote. Now on Instagram, he added, quote, "To transformed into Javelin in hashtag the Suicide Squad, I was having to do many activities like braiding a giant's hair, thank to my trainer man at Paulo Macide for making it possible, and to at MJ Fit, at Men's Journal, and at Men's Health Mag for telling people about this muscle journey. Watch at James Gunn's at the Suicide Squad in the theaters now," unquote. I guess if we want his workout tips, we have to read the book. Netflix's Sandman has wrapped up production on season 1. And just 10 months after starting. The news came from Neil Gaiman's official Twitter account. He wrote, quote, "Well, we finished principal photography on season 1, and now we all have to be patient while the VFX and such like are done. Music is written and recorded, and so on. No, I don't know any release dates, and even when the trailer will be released. It feels like Sandman. I don't know if that means that people who watch TV will like it, although I hope they will. But I suspect that if you like Sandman and you want to see it on the screen, then you'll like this. I also think Tom Sturridge will be a star after season 1 of Sandman drops," unquote. Now, Sturridge stars as Dream in the series alongside Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer, Charles Dance as Roderick Burgess, Asim Kadri as Abel, Sanjeev Bhaskar as Cain, Kirby Howell-Baptiste as Death, Dream's wiser sister, and Alexander Park as Desire, Dream's sibling. The series, has no premiere date yet. Supergirl star Melissa Benoist has put her costume on for the final time. Filming on the 6th and final season of the show, Ms. Benoist has shared a photo of herself on Instagram in the costume alongside fellow stars Shyler Lee and David Harewood, with the caption, quote, "Thank you for an incredible 6 years. The cast who became family, everyone who worked on the show, all of you who watched us week after week." That's a wrap on Supergirl at Supergirl CW, unquote. Now, 6 seasons is a pretty good run for a show, especially one that had been canceled by its original network. The Suicide Squad's Nathan Fillion had a building named after him in Edmonton, Canada. Now, Fillion comes from the Canadian city, which is in the process of converting a series of downtown parking lots into luscious green park. An online petition to the city asked it to rename it to the Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion. Now, other stars from the movie joined in with support, including director James Gunn, Idris Elba, John Cena, Margot Robbie, and their efforts paid off as Edmonton announced on August 6th that, quote, "Challenge accepted. At Sonic 1029, at Hunter at Home, at Warner Brothers CA, what's a more civilian pavilion than Edmonton's own City Hall? For this weekend, we've renamed our City Hall Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion to mark the premiere of hashtag the Suicide Squad," unquote. I still think they should go ahead and name that entire green space the Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion. It's fun to say. What can you say about that? Justice League producer Charles Roven had a mea culpa moment about the bad CG job on Henry Cavill's removed mustache in Justice League. Now, if you recall, Cavill was filming on Mission Impossible and was unable to shave the mustache for the reshoots on Justice League, requiring Warner Brothers to digitally remove the mustache, which just made his mouth look weird. Roven told the Hollywood Reporter, quote, "We were dealing with very complicated scenes. They were so complicated in terms of their structure and the additional shooting issues. And of course, we also had the fact that we were hoping for Henry to shave his beard. We were very worried that we weren't going to be able to accomplish that in a way that wasn't visible. And in fact, we were right to be worried about that. To open this movie with your Superman and have his face look funny, I wouldn't say that was one of the greatest decisions that were made," unquote. Now, he also said that releasing the Justice League with a funny-looking Man of Steel was the decision made to protect the release date, the promotional partners, and the pre-book theaters. So, in other words, he kind of pushed the blame that way. In Batman Urban Legends number 6, Tim Drake came out as bisexual. DC Comics issued the following statement, quote, "Okay, don't freak out, don't freak out. Alright, fine, you can freak out, but please, freak respectively. As of August 10th, 2021, your headcanon is real. Tim Drake dates boys." If you're a member of DC's significant queer community, then you already understand why this is a big deal. In fact, you've probably been waiting for a moment like this for a very long time. But for the uninitiated, please allow me to explain. This week, Batman Urban Legends number 6 includes the culmination of a 3-part story by writer Megan Fitzmartin, artist Belen Ortega, colorist Alejandro Sanchez, and other Pat Brosseau, about Tim Drake, the premier Robin of the 90s and many of our childhoods, and the most responsible boy to ever don the red and green. After the horrific murder of Jason Todd, it was Tim who brought Batman back from the darkest place in his life, not to pursue any personal dream of crime fighting and costume donning, but because Batman needs a Robin. As Fitzmartin and company have explored in this urban legend story, Tim Drake, Sum of Our Parts, it's that element which has defined Tim Drake's existence since he first appeared. The third Robin has always been someone who puts the needs of others before himself, filling vacancies where no one else steps up. He bears Batman, Young Justice, and the Teen Titans like a weary Atlas, being whatever he needs to be to keep the world at balance. But that's the problem too. If Tim Drake can be anything to anyone, who is he to himself? Who does Tim Drake want out of life? What is his true secret identity? Practically, since the moment comic books were invented, misinformed parents and authority figures have lambasted them as tools for corrupting America's youth towards criminal thoughts, immoral deeds, and worst of all, to straight-laced mid-century nuclear families, homosexuality. Queer coding in comics, the idea of expressing your true self through a colorful costume as you hide your dual identity from the world, was once considered too scandalous for a largely homophobic nation. As queer kids were finding a piece of themselves in characters like Robin, judges and psychologists, and even the comic book publishers themselves, wary of a culture turning against them, did everything they could to censor queer themes from comics for decades to come. But even as those themes were stifled, speculation on Robin's sexuality has never stopped. And despite a multitude of new Robins, each with a parade of their own heteronormative partners, queer readers have continued to see a piece of themselves within the boy wonder. Queer readings of Robin continue to proliferate through his stories, friendships between Dick Grayson and Wally West, Jason Todd and Roy Harper, Tim Drake and Connor Kent, Stephanie Brown and Cassandra Cain, and even Damon Wayne and John Kent have been perceived as something closer than friendship time and time again, and queer readers searching for themselves within Batman's world. But that should be no surprise. All the way back in 1940, Robin was created with the intention of being a reader's surrogate, a character who readers could project themselves onto, fighting crime across rooftops under the enigmatic Batman's wing. There have been female Robins, black Robins, rich Robins, poor Robins. Why would a queer reader, especially one overtly ostracized by comics culture itself for so many decades, feel any less worthy of that same surrogate relationship? Unquote. Now, they go on to describe the moment which I've omitted for brevity, and if you want to see it for yourself. Now, let's go back to the statement, quote, "This is, as I've said, a very big deal. In fact, that might be underselling it. For a certain significant portion of Batman readers, the Gotham outsiders, who have always found themselves looking in, it's a moment which we'll continue to be talking about, to be celebrating for years. The moment that queer fans were not through subtext, not through permissible point of view reading, but unabashedly, textually supported for the first time since Kate Kane was kicked out of West Point. The moment that a Robin, any Robin, but particularly a Robin with history and legacy, and now decades of queer coding readings under his utility belt, was allowed to be the queer icon he's always been. But the text right under Tim's acceptance of Bernard's invitation and to a greater understanding of his own self may be the best part of all. It's the part that says, 'To be continued.' This isn't the end of Tim Drake's self-discovery. We've only just reached the beginning, and you can be sure that in Batman Urban Legends number 10, we'll all be there to follow this personal journey wherever it goes. Tim Drake Nation, rise up. There's no turning back now. Unquote. Danny DeVito will get to write a new Penguin story for DC Comics' Gotham Villains Anniversary Giant number 1. This anthology issue will be just as the title implies, stories of Gotham villains. Details of DeVito's story are of course under wraps, but preview pages sent out seem to show DeVito's Penguin reteaming with Catwoman. Now, Gotham City's Villains Anniversary Giant arrives in time to celebrate the anniversaries of some of Batman's most iconic foes, including 80 years of the Penguin and the Scarecrow, 70 years of Killer Moth, 50 years of Ra's al Ghul, and more. In addition to DeVito and Dan Mora, the all-star lineup includes writers like Joshua Williamson, G. William Wilson, and Philip Kennedy Johnson, alongside artists like Jill Thompson, Christian Ward, Emma Rios, and many more. The issue will be out on stands on November 30th. And that brings us to the Marvel news. Walt Disney CEO Bob Chapek confirmed in a third quarter earnings call that both Free Guy and Marvel's Shang-Chi will not show up at the same time on Disney Plus as their theatrical releases. He told attendees, quote, "As you probably recognize, we live in a very uncertain world in terms of the recovery of some of our markets. The theatrical exhibition world is certainly a part of that. We said from the very beginning that we value flexibility and being able to make as last-minute calls as we can, given what we see in the marketplace. Certainly, when we planned our schedule that we're executing right now, we did not anticipate, nor do I think anybody, the resurgence of COVID with the Delta variant that would have such a significant impact on the marketplace," unquote. Now, that was more confirmation from the May earnings call that the movies would have a 45-day theater-exclusive window before being released in other forms. Now, when asked if it would have gone to Premiere Plus, Chapek added, quote, "On Free Guy, obviously this is a title that we acquired under a different distribution assumption and set of agreements, so we don't have the degree of freedom to do that. Now on Shang-Chi, we actually think it's going to be an interesting experiment for us because it's only got a 45-day window for us. The prospect of being able to take a Marvel title to the service after going theatrical for just 45 days will be yet another data point to inform our actions going forward on our titles." Shang-Chi, Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi was planned on being opened in a much more healthy theatrical environment. Unfortunately, due to our distribution agreements that we have and due to just the practicalities of last-minute changes, it would be impossible to release Shang-Chi on Premier Access, unquote. Now, the movies that Disney has put on Premier Access include Raya the Last Dragon, Cruella, Black Widow, and Jungle Cruise, which have not had long lives at the box office, premiering and then dropping right off, due to both the miserable COVID-era box office attendance and the online availability. Now, by the way, 45 days after Shang-Chi premieres in theaters would be October 18th. So watch your space, or watch this space. Hulu executive Jordan Hillman sees potential for Hulu and Marvel Studios to bring more shows to the service. Hillman told Deadline, quote, "Marvel continues to be an incredibly important partner and one of the biggest generators of content within the Disney ecosystem. So we're excited about the possibility of what may lie in the future with regards to the Hulu-Marvel relationship," unquote. Now, he did confirm that Hulu has yet to speak with Marvel Studios or Kevin Feige, but that Hulu still has plans to get some MCU content because it seems like it would be an incredibly robust avenue for future projects. The next Marvel show, Marvel's Hit Monkey, is due on Hulu this fall. Ryan Reynolds thinks that there's still a decent chance of a new Deadpool movie coming into production very soon. When asked by Collider what he thought the chances were, the actor and Mint Mobile owner said, quote, "The percentage chance? I don't know. I would assign a percentage to that. I'd say it's 50-50 maybe. we're really actively developing it and getting it into pretty good shape. What the hell month is it? August? Oh, next year. Probably pretty damn good. I'd say 70%, unquote. The script is being written by Bob's Burgers writers Mooney Molyneux and Lizzie Molyneux Loyan and Reynolds, who have an update on that front. Quote, it's something that is just a daily process. Writing is kind of like that. You've got a lot of time to do it and walk away, and I'm working with the Molyneux on it. It's been great. They're incredibly talented and so smart. They so understand that world and know how to zig when everyone's expecting a zag, so it's been a lot of fun, unquote. Ethan Hawke told Late Night's Seth Meyers a bit about his current role as the villain in Disney Plus's Moon Knight series, which is currently filming in Budapest, Hungary. He raved about the sets, saying, "These are the best sets I've ever been on in my life. I've entered some alternate universe and it's kind of interesting," unquote. Now, after Meyers remarked that Ethan looked eerily like David Koresh, the cult leader who died in Waco, Texas in 1993, look it up. Hawke said it's intentional, saying, quote, "I've based my character on David Koresh. He's the basis of great character inspiration," unquote. Now, Moon Knight is a former U.S. Marine and current mercenary with dissociative identity disorder named Mark Spector, who will be played by Oscar Isaac, who was granted superpowers from the Egyptian moon god Khonshu. It's due on Disney Plus in 2022. Now, we have an official order change for the MCU lineup going in historical order. So here goes. First off, would be watching would be Captain America: The First Avenger, followed by Captain Marvel, followed by Iron Man and Iron Man 2, followed by Thor: The Avengers, Thor: The Dark World, Iron Man 3, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, The Avengers: Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Captain America: Civil War, Black Widow, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Thor: Ragnarok, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers: Infinity Game, Avengers: Endgame. Next would be Loki, Marvel's What If, WandaVision, and finally, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yep, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the second series of the gate, is actually the last when you go chronologically. So, stick that in your hat. Anyway, let's go on to the geek news. The money truck has pulled up to South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone, who have gotten a big order that will keep South Park coming out until 2027. The new deal, worth a reported $900 million, will see 14 original movies that will premiere on Paramount Plus, beginning with 2 coming in 2021, followed by 2 a year until 2027. Chris McCarthy, president and CEO of MTV Entertainment and CCO of Adult Animation at Paramount Plus, said in a statement, quote, "Matt and Trey are world-class creatives who brilliantly use their outrageous humor to skewer the absurdities of our culture, and we are excited to expand and deepen our long relationship with them to help fuel Paramount Plus and Comedy Central. Franchising marquee talent like South Park and developing new IP with tremendous talent like Matt and Trey is the heart of our strategy to continue growing Paramount Plus," unquote. Now, Parker and Stone, in the same statement, said, quote, "Comedy Central has been our home for 25 years, and we're really happy that they've made a commitment to us for the next 75 years. When we came to Viacom CBS with a different way to produce the show during the pandemic, Chris McCarthy, Nina Diaz, Keys Hill Edgar, and Tanya Giles were immediately supportive and enabled us to try something new that turned out to be really well received. We can't wait to get back to doing traditional South Park episodes, but now we can also try out new formats. It's great to have partners who will always take a chance with us," unquote. And when you've made money like that, why not buy something near and dear to your heart? Matt and Trey have struck a deal to buy the Casa Bonilla restaurant that was featured in an episode of South Park. The duo broke the news in an interview with Colorado Governor Jared Polis. The company that owns Casa Bonita, Summit Family Restaurants, filed for Chapter 11 in Arizona on April 6th. The final sale is pending court approval and will take months. Speaking with The Hollywood Reporter, Trey Parker said, quote, "If it were up to us, we would have people in there right now working on it," unquote. The iconic Mexican restaurant, located at 6715 West Colfax Avenue in Lakewood, Colorado, is an enormous Mexican restaurant which features an arcade, cave, and waterfall with cliff divers, among other attractions, which opened in 1974. Lakewood Mayor Adam Paul told The Hollywood Reporter, quote, "This is a really exciting announcement, not only for the community, but for our entire state. There has been a lot of behind-the-scenes movement, and certainly these deals can be challenging. Not only will this help save an iconic landmark in Lakewood, but it will also provide catalytic change for an emerging arts district. I want to thank Trey and Matt for their commitment to the community," unquote. You know, I hope that every now and then they have someone dressed as Cartman cliff diving from time to time. That would just be sweet. Super sweet. The Venture Brothers have arrived on HBO Max. All 7 seasons of the show are currently there and will be joined by a series finale movie in the future. The Clifford the Big Red Dog movie has been pulled from Paramount's release schedule over concerns about the Delta variant and its effects on the box office. The movie was planned to be released next month on September 17th, with a world premiere at the Toronto Film Festival. Paramount is currently looking for a new release date. It's not the only thing to be delayed yet again. Venom Let There Be Carnage has been pushed back to October 15th, and Hotel Transylvania 4 Transformania might also be moving, possibly straight to streaming. On new news, Emma Stone will be back in a sequel to Cruella, according to Deadline. No word on when the sequel will happen. Now, the first one was released both in theaters and on Disney Plus premiere back on May 26th and earned $222 million worldwide. Disney wants a sequel to Free Guy, according to star Ryan Reynolds, who posted on Twitter, quote, "And after 3 years messaging, hashtag Free Guy, as an original IP movie, Disney confirmed today they want a sequel. Woohoo! Hashtag irony." The new Spawn movie has gotten a new writer. Brian Tucker, who wrote the 2013 movie Broken City starring Russell Crowe and Mark Wahlberg, has been given the job of writing the script for the Blumhouse-produced, Todd McFarlane-directed reboot. The live-action Powerpuff Girls pilot, Powerpuff, has lost one of its 3 leads as actress Chloe Bennett has stepped down due to scheduling conflicts. Now, the show's first pilot failed, but a second pilot was commissioned, and the casting for a new co-star will begin shortly. And finally tonight, tabletop game designer Steve Perrin has passed away. Mr. Perrin was best known for his work on the fantasy game RuneQuest, where he designed the original game and created the BRP/D100 rules system. At one point, the game was second only to Dungeons & Dragons. He was also a founding member of the Society for Creative Anachronism, SCA, the medieval-themed living history group. Perrin also contributed to Call of Cthulhu, Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, and Stormbringer, and wrote several D&D supplements and designed a tabletop role-playing game for ElfQuest. In recent weeks, he started a GoFundMe for his wife Louise, who had entered hospice care after a heart attack coupled with pneumonia. The GoFundMe has raised over $200,000. Steve Perrin was 75 years old. And that...
Strange new worlds, interstellar war, time travel, wormholes, positronic brains and philosophy, ethical dilemmas and social crises. I'm Glenn McDormand, host of Lower Decks, a Star Trek podcast. Join me and my friend Valerie Hoagland as we seek out new life and new civilizations, examine our own society's reflection in Star Trek's critical mirror, and invent Trek-themed cocktails, one random episode of Star Trek at a time. Listen to Lower Decks, a Star Trek podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. And come find us and our other shows on claytemplemedia.com. Live long and prosper.
Leave some feedback if you'd like. And, I can't get any better if I don't know if I'm doing anything wrong. Special thanks to Shane Ivers for the intro music and Lobo Loco for the outro theme music. Thanks for watching the comic book edition of Multiverse Tonight. We'll be back in just 2 weeks with a brand new sci-fi edition and a brand new comic book edition as well. Now, please exit the universe in an orderly fashion. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half-Baked Genre Productions. Copyright 2021. All rights reserved. Well, folks, that was fun. I'm frankly hungry, so I'm going to give myself a little something to eat. And again, check us out this weekend. We'll be on Instagram and Twitter and